let's get this party started. All right.
Mara, I unmuted myself.
Yes.
I have a funny story, but maybe I'll tell it after class, so never mind.
All right. Tell it after.
Okay, bye.
All right, goodbye. Funny stories are always good to share. We'll get started. So if anybody else has a funny story they want to share at the end, you're more than welcome to share it. Let me get my computers going here. You all know the drill from now. Get yourself in a nice, easy gear. Spin at a cadence that works for you just to get the legs going. And you have all of your full water bottle, your fan and your towel ready. Because tonight, you're probably going to do some sweating. So it looks like we're going to get in a little bit of efforts that are going to simulate some climbing. So that'll be good. We'll work the legs for some strength. And we'll see how you come out in the end after this one. So it should be a good workout. So Randy and I went up to New Paltz, Gardner area over the weekend to do some gravel riding. And it was it was nice riding. We were really having a good time. We kind of go into the back of Mohunk Preserve, if any of you know that, kind of on the backside. And we've ridden up there many, many times before. And we come out at the lake and we rode around the lake, and they have a visitor center. So we get to the visitor center and this ranger approaches me and he says, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "It's going good." He's like, "I just wanted to let you know that the park is closed to bikes right now." I was like, "What?" Like, he caught me off guard. I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he says, "Well, where'd you come from?" And I had no idea where we had come from. I said, I don't know. He's like, "Well, did you come off of 45 and get on 50? And I was like, "I don't know where we came from." He said, "Well, you know, there's signs all around the park saying that you can't enter." Well, we didn't see any signs, at least in the way that we came in. So he says, "Yeah, the park will be back open probably by the end of the month." It was kind of a bummer in a way because it's such a beautiful place. So we ended up actually leaving Mohunk Preserve and heading over to Minnewaska, which is kind of on the other side of the park, another piece of property. No signs that we couldn't cycle there. So we got in some good miles over there. And there's more to the story. I'll keep it going as we get going into the workout. So as you're warming up right now, I just want you to get the legs going. We're going to do some high cadence work to get ourselves started. We're going to do 2 sets of 1-minute efforts. The first 2, I'm not going to give you any gearing, because what I want you to do for that one is I want you to hold 100+ cadence. However you can achieve it. I don't care what gear you're in. I just want you to make sure that you're holding that super high cadence. Now, if you can put yourself in a gear that gives you a little bit more effort, then that's fine too. But it's all about holding that high cadence. We want to really jack up the heart rate to start. We want to really get the legs firing, because when you're doing a climbing workout, the legs need to be warmed up properly. Because when you start working at lower cadences and harder geared efforts, you're putting different strains on the muscles. And if they're not warmed up properly, then you may have some problems. Problems being a strained muscle or worse. So we don't want that to happen. So today is all about getting yourself warmed up properly so that the legs are ready for what we're going to do in our main set. Now, the cool part about this workout is you're only going to be doing efforts that are a minute to 30 seconds long. So you can kind of keep that in the back of your head. All right, so we're going to do 2 1-minute efforts with a minute in between at 100 cadence. Be in a gear where you're not bouncing, but I want you holding that 100 cadence for the full minute. So find a gear that you think you can hold that in. 3, 2, 1. Remember, this is a warm-up. So you're going to want to work a little bit for it. You're going to want to keep the legs spinning. If you go over 100, that's even better. So if you can get to 110, we'll take that. Just get some fast leg speed. Keep the legs going. Minute will seem longer than you like, but we really want to get the legs firing. Keep it going. Don't let the cadence drop. I know you're going to think about that. Almost there. 10 to go. Keep those legs firing. Feeling the burn now. 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. 1 minute easy. If you're breathing hard right now, you did that minute properly. Your heart rate's going to jack right up because your heart's saying, here we go. We're doing a workout. So let me start jumping around in here. You may notice this happening when you do a ride. So if you go out, you start riding, and you hit that first hill, you might start breathing really heavy right from the start. That's just your heart saying, okay, I remember this. Just let it happen because you'll settle in. All right, go back to either the same gear or a similar gear. Right back to that 100. Let's go. 100 plus. Keep it steady. Fire the legs. Bring the lungs into action. Get the heart pumping. These are good warm-ups. Not just here on the trainer. You can do the same thing outside. Ride around for 10, 15 minutes. Do 5 minutes of some fast legs. And then continue your ride. You'll be guaranteed to be well warmed up. 10 to go. That minute went faster. 3, 2, nice and easy. 1 minute easy. All right, so here's the switch up. Now we're going to do 2 more 1 minute efforts. But these, I want you in your big ring and around your 23. So near the top of your cassette. And again, holding 100 cadence, you're going to work a little harder here. If you're in the right gear, you're going to actually feel a little more resistance, which will help you to turn over those legs a little faster. We're going to do 2 1 minute efforts with 1 in between. Go ahead and find your big ring. Maybe 1 or 2 gears down. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Whatever gear you need to be in to get you to 100. It's going to feel different. You might get a little chain rub on your front derailleur. You can't trim it with your left hand, the inner shifter, unless you have electronic. Hold steady here. Just like the last one, consistent to the end. Now you'll feel the burn, burning even more. It's a little harder gear, a little harder effort. 3, 2, 1, down to your small ring. You might want to shift a few harder gears before you shift to that small ring, so you're not dropping your chain. I want you guys to remember that when you're outside. If you're at the top of your cassette and you're in your big ring, try to avoid shifting the front chain ring, or you may drop that chain. Give yourself a couple harder gears when you make that shift. Take a drink. One more of these efforts to go. And again, you'll be in your big ring. You can go ahead and find it. 3, 2, 1. Bring that cadence up. All the way to 100. Let's go. Nice and steady. Find yourself pedaling circles now. You're getting warmed up. These aren't hard gears, so you should be able to hold that nice circular motion. This is the last one before we start snapping on the climbing legs. 15 to go. Hold on to it. No cadence drop. 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Easy gear. All right. Gonna get a nice 2 minutes of easy. Then we're gonna move on to a 5-minute effort where we're standing for 30 and we're sitting for 30. Another way to get the muscles warmed up, ready to go. I'm going to give you a gear for that. It's going to give you plenty of resistance for the standing up effort. So just 5 minutes of that. Like I promised, all efforts are only 30 seconds or a minute in length. So that's manageable. So tonight when we get to our main set, it's a 7-minute set, a 5-minute set, it's a 2-pager, and a 3-minute set. So each one of those, we're going to work through some cadences and some gearing. And we're going to sit some, we're going to stand some. So you're going to get all kinds of variety in that main set. All right, in 20, we're going to get this started. Want to give you adequate rest here. So go ahead and shift up to your big ring, down to your 15. So you should have 3, if you look back, 3 gears under your chain, standing for 30, 3, 2, 1. In your hoods, stand it up. So keeping those hips back. Feel your core tightening up. Your feet should be right under your hips. And you should be really thinking about when that pedal stroke hits the bottom of the pedal stroke, getting it to the top. Nice and fast, sitting down. Staying in the gear. Sitting down, Kristen. Whatever cadence you can hold in this gear, let it happen. Feel the muscles working on this. 3, 2, standing up again. It's 30 up, 30 down. If you feel yourself ankling a little bit, which means that you're kind of pulling your heel up as it comes up and over the top, that's okay. Just don't pedal sitting back down. You don't want to be pedaling with your toes down. Flat feet is what we're looking for. Now the sweat's going to start. Turn on your fans. If they're not already on. 3, 2, stand it up again. Look at where your knees are tracking. If your knees are coming out, think about keeping those knees tracking with your feet. Now, some people that may have knee problems or are on the way to a knee replacement, sitting back down, their bodies might naturally have their knees going out. If that's the case, then there's some modifications that should be made to their cleats, cleat placement, spindle length, all kinds of stuff. But I don't think any of you have to worry about that right now. 3, 2, stand it up. 3 minutes in, 2 to go. So look down at your bike and see where your knees are tracking in terms of how close are they to your handlebars. If your body's too far forward, they'll be very close. If your hips are back where they should be, sitting back down, you might have an inch or 2 to that bar. You shouldn't be hitting that bar when you stand, obviously, with your knees. That would be bad. That would mean your bike is probably the wrong size. And up for the last time in this set. It's a climbing day. You either like this or you don't. But you're definitely gaining strength. 3, 2, sitting back down. Last time seated for this set. Then we move into the main set. So make sure you're getting something to drink in between. 3, 2, 1. Small ring, easy gear, spin out the legs. You can keep that cadence between 80 and 90. Flush out any of that lactic acid that's building up in there. All right. So here's how the first set is going to go. 7 minutes long. Each minute, and some 30-second efforts, you're going to move through a gearing and a cadence. Now remember, if I give you a gear and you can't hold the cadence, then you can shift to harder or easier based on the cadence. So if I want you at 60 and you're hitting 80, then you need to go to a harder gear. So keep in mind, these are low cadence efforts in harder gears. So I always talk about spin, spin, spin at 90. Tonight, not so much. We want to work on the other end of the spectrum. We want to give you some low cadence efforts so you can build that strength for especially climbing. And that strength comes into play too for other things. So you might get to a harder gear to close a gap or to sprint to catch up to somebody. So there's a number of things where you can use those harder gears. So the first minute, you're going to be at a 50 cadence. I want you to be in your big ring and around your 14. So go ahead and find that big ring. So your 14, you might only have 2 gears underneath your chain. 1 minute at 50. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Holding it at 50. Don't cheat yourself though. If you're getting to 60 and it's easy to get there, then give yourself one harder gear. Everybody has different big ring sizes. So because I have a 53, I might need a different gear. Because you have a 50 or 3 teeth easier, then you might need to be in your 12, not your 14. Hold on to this. Really use your core. Really feel every part of this pedal stroke. You're going to shift to whatever gear gets you to a 60 cadence. Go ahead and shift. Again, if you get to 65, you might need a harder gear. Dead on to 60 I am. So if you're following my legs, you're going to be right at the cadence. Now this is when you want to really feel the lightening up of your legs and the use of the upward part of the stroke. If you're just pushing into this, then more than likely your body's going to look like this. Nice and steady. Let the legs do the work. We're going to make another shift. 1 or 2 gears. Get to 70. So this is a nice climb because it's actually getting easier. Sticking to 70. We're going to hold this for a minute. You got 30 seconds to go. Then you're actually going to stay in the gear you're in and stand up for 30 seconds. when I count it down. And it might be tough in this gear, but I want to challenge you a bit and show you how you might not want to be in a gear like this. 3, 2, 1, stand it up. Control it. Get tall if you need to. This might not be the perfect gear to stand in. Might not be enough resistance. You can probably feel what's happening to your legs. Sitting back down. Back to 70. Remember that feeling, because you're going to compare it in a couple minutes. Hold on to 70 for 1 minute. That's what a long 7-minute climb feels like. Now, unfortunately, the hill's going to get harder. We got a little easier. Now it's going to get harder on you. When we shift, you're taking that cadence to 60. 3, 2, 1. 1 or 2 shifts, whatever you need to hold you at 60. Nobody's staying at that other gear. Remember, this is low cadence work. So it's okay for you to be sitting at a 60 cadence. Just like we walked up, we're now walking down that ladder. Getting harder as we go. You might be feeling this on the inside of your thigh. That's where you press from. Going to 50. Shift into 1 or 2 harder gears. Right at 50. I started going to 57, so I made a shift to 1 harder gear. You're probably in your 13 or 14. You might even be in your 12. The last effort of this set is going to be 30 seconds of standing. You're going to stay in the gear you're in when I count it down, and then you're going to stand for 30. 3, 2, 1. Stand it up. So that other gear might have been a little too easy. This gear might be a little too hard. So just like the bears, you got to find the gear that's just right. Three, 2, down to your small ring, up to an easy gear, 2 minutes easy. Woo! Spin it out. Take a drink. Towel off. Get ready for the next climb. So really try in between these efforts to find at least 90 in your cadence, but spin that 90 without any effort. That's going to let the legs flush out all that hard work and get them ready for the next effort. So the next one, it's going to be 5 minutes long. So we went from 7 to 5. This time though, you're going to do 2 1-minute efforts, a 30-second, and 2 1-minute efforts. We're going to increase the cadence a little bit on this one. We're going to really work that standing effort. You're probably not going to like me on that one. The 30 seconds, you're going to really see a difference when you have to spin those legs really super fast. So we're going to start in 30 seconds with a minute. I want you to stay in your small ring and think about what gear is going to hold you at an 80 to 85 cadence, no higher than 85. So don't cheat yourself out for this first minute. This is going to be more like spinning up a mountain with a little higher cadence. All right, so find the gear you think. You're probably going to go down at least 3 or 4 gears. 3, 2, 1. You might even find yourself needing to go 5 gears. So I'm sitting at, let's see, about my 17. I'm sitting at 85, and I'm at the same power that I was at for the previous set. That's the beauty of power. You can literally set the number and aim for it. A little harder with heart rate, but it'll come up to that point where you need the heart rate or saw the heart rate for the previous one. When I count it down, you're going to get to 90 to 95. 3, 2, 1. 1 or 2 easier gears. Don't go past 95. I was cheating. I was already at 100. Holding that 95. Or 90 on the other end. Solid 1 minute. Keep the leg speed up. Don't let it drop. You know how I like to say that word, consistency? Is that in the book? I gotta look. All right. 1 harder gear. Standing up. Give me the highest cadence you can hold here. I know this gear doesn't feel good. If you bend your legs a little, make your turnover faster, you'll make it through. Three, 2, sit back down, back to 80, 85. Woo! The legs felt that. Now that's what'll happen if you stand up outside and you're in the wrong gear. You're gonna sit back down and the legs are gonna feel toast. So that's why before you stand up, give it a couple of harder gears and then stand up. Hold this cadence. The last minute, you're going to go at 90 to 95. 3, 2, easier gear. Find that cadence. Don't go over that 95 mark. Solid. Holding on to it. For the last 30 seconds, the gear that you're in, you're going to stay in. All you're going to do, when I count it down, is shift to your big ring. Then you're going to stand. 3, 2, make that shift. Stand it up. So much better. Legs can move at an adequate cadence. You're not getting that massive burning. You have enough resistance under you to be able to stand up. 3, 2, small ring, easy gear. Whew. Recover. Take a drink. On to page 2. Yippee. This last one is going to be nice. Because guess what? It's only 3 minutes long. That doesn't seem like a climb. But your cadence is going to be super low. And you're going to do some climbing, some standing, and some seated efforts. So make sure, like always, you should be 3/4 of the way done with your water. And I'm sure you're probably sweating more than normal because it's a little warmer outside, warmer in our houses. Those fans need to be working it high. All right, this last one's going to go 1 minute at 50 cadence, 30 seconds standing, 1 minute at 50 cadence, 1 minute standing. You're going to be in the same gear for the entire time. You don't have to go there yet, but that gear is going to be your big ring and your 13. So you should only have 1 gear under your chain. Unless you have an 11, you might have 2. So go ahead to your big ring. If you want to go all the way to the bottom of your set, go there and shift up one easier gear. We're going to be seated for the first minute. 3, 2, 1. If you're not hitting 50, just stay here. Give me whatever cadence you can hold. This is where the real climbing work happens. You'll feel the hamstrings, the glutes. If you're pulling up, you'll feel the tops of your legs. You may feel this in your shins. You're definitely going to feel this in your calf muscles. The pulling back part of the bike pedal stroke is where that calf gets engaged as it comes up and over. Hold it here. In 5, we're going to stand. 3, 2, stand it up. 30 seconds. Think about an even pedal stroke. If you feel yourself pushing down, on one leg harder than the other, then just think about that weaker side. Three, two, sit back down. Hold this for a minute. Working it hard. Building a ton of strength here. Now, hopefully when you're climbing in real life out on the road, your cadence is not going to be this slow. This is the only way on a trainer we can simulate a climbing effort. Of course, if you're using a smart machine connected to a virtual game, it'll do it for you. 3, 2, standing up. Last 30 seconds of this climb. Feel your hands being light on your bars. You shouldn't feel pressure in your palms. 3, 2, down to that small ring, up to an easy gear, spin it out. Take a drink. We're coming near the end. Gonna spin out the legs. This last set is going to be a little bit of everything. You're going to do 1 minute at a high cadence, 30 seconds standing, and 30 seconds easy. So we're just going to keep going around in that set. So the first minute, you're going to do 100 cadence. We're going to do all of this in our big ring. You don't have to go there yet. Just keep spinning out those legs. So it's going to be a minute, big ring, probably around your 23, 21 to get 100 cadence. Then you're going to shift to your 15 before you stand for 30. And then we're going to go back. Staying in our big ring though, to an easy gear, just to spin it out. So we're going to do a number of these. Just to finish up, finish fast. Wow, this went super fast. All right, so go ahead and find your big ring. Maybe 1 or 2 gears harder. We're going to do 1 minute at 100. 3, 2, 1, let's go. If the gear I suggest you can't get to 100, then shift up to easier. Now you have to get light. Light legs, fast legs. That's what's going to get you this leg speed. Now the hardest part is, because we've been doing such low cadence work, the legs don't want to go fast. That's why we mix it up. So you can develop all sides of what the leg's capacity can be. Heart rate's coming up now. Shift into your 15. 3, 4, maybe 5 shifts. Standing up. Oh yeah. Now the legs are burning. Feeling those efforts. Sit back down, all the way to your easiest gear. Use this as a 30-second recovery. Now you know what it feels like. We're going to do 3 more. Stick with me here. All right. 1 or 2 harder gears. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 100 cadence. Now the legs are going to come around. Because you're getting some spark back in the legs. Use that core. Tall in your torso. Light in your hands and your feet. Upward part should be happening naturally by now. Feel the legs moving fast. Remember, you're going to shift about 5. Go ahead and make that shift. Standing up. Those first couple of pedal strokes are a little tough. Get the legs going. Very effective though. Three, 2, sitting down. Stay in your big ring. Easiest gear. Take a drink. You should almost be done with that water bottle. 2 more to go. All right, here we go. Find that gear. Up to 100. Let's go. Spinning it. You only have 2 minutes of 100 cadence left. And 2 30-second standing drills. I know you can make that happen. Stick with it. Everybody's got a nice, calm upper body. Remember, 5 gears. Make that shift. Standing up. Woo! That transition. So effective to work this. Three, 2, easy gear. Stay in the big ring. You got 1 to go. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. It's been crazy how much bike racing has been on the channels that we've subscribed to. I don't know how these guys and ladies are doing it. All right, last one. 1 or 2 easier gears. Let's go. Last minute at 100. Hold it tight. Hold it solid. Show me what you got. Looking good, everybody. I like the leg speed. Keep going. This is when it counts, right here. Right at the end. Right when you're tired. Keep those positive thoughts going through your head. 5 harder gears. Stand it up. Stick with it. 10 to go. 3, 2, sit down. Easy gear for that 30 seconds. Stay in that big ring. Let's finish the set the way we finished all the previous. Woo! I got you guys a good workout tonight. Shift to a couple harder gears. Down to your small ring. Find an easy gear. Spin the legs. Hold it about 85. Start finishing up the rest of your water bottle. We'll recover. So I was thinking that tonight it's going to be a little light. Starting to get more light outside. Starting to get nicer temperatures on a regular basis. So here's my thoughts for the future. We'll make next week the last official trainer session on a Tuesday night. Then for the month of May, if it is going to rain on a Tuesday night, I will schedule a trainer session. If it is going to be a beautiful night, then you should get outside and ride. Because that's why we do this. Get us ready for the spring, summer, a little bit into fall. So it's good to start getting outside. And with the changes in the calendar and the time, it allows us to do that. So that's how we'll go. I'll put that in the email so you have it. So I'll continue to send you my Monday emails through the month of May so that you have a sense of if there's a session or if there is not.
Mara, you keep saying May, you mean April.
I mean April. Yes, I mean April. Thank you, Earl. I'm guessing, you know, moving forward for faster than I want to. So yes, we're still in March. So yes, April will be, and of course, there are April showers. So that may mean that we potentially could have a number of more sessions going through the month. Interestingly enough, last year, I went all the way through May, and I think it was just because we were still dealing with the pandemic, not sure if we could get outside, be together, those kinds of things. So we kept it going, and we were getting a decent number of people attending. So I hope that everybody is okay with that. If any of you are interested and want like a private one-on-one session with me, I do those, and it's something that you can benefit from. We can work on whatever you feel is important, or most of the time I can pretty much ride with you and know what needs to be worked on or not. So that's an option. And also, if you're preparing for an event, that's something else that I can help you with if you're looking for some assistance from that perspective. Just a couple of more minutes, and then we will be off the bikes.